And welcome, guys. We are here in Geek Society, and I'm your host, the Mystery Man, here on Geek Society. And now we're gonna have some topics, the news stories that I have gathered, from for this next show. It's gonna be really interesting. There's a lot of them, and there might just be news stories that you probably already heard about in the nerd community, but it's fine. I'll just recap them so that people are caught up to speed. And let's now continue on. And I'll just recap the titles. Star Wars TV show gets title along with Kanye West's new album. Magneto not a mutant. Google pokes fun at Ultra Pixel. Lady Gaga versus Venom. The rise of Netflix. No X-Men, just Dark Phoenix. Batman killed off. James Gunn attached to Suicide Squad sequel. Aliens are talking to us. And the new Darth Vader series. And to first start off, we're gonna head to the Star Wars title, which caught my surprise when I first heard about it. And I originally had thought, hey, maybe this is gonna be something like that's like really original, something like really outside the lore. I just thought it would be something different and new. But on the IO9, the live action Star Wars TV show is called The Mandalorian. Jon Favreau took to his Instagram Wednesday night to reveal the name of the and plot synopsis of the first live-action Star Wars TV show coming to Disney's untitled streaming service. It's called The Mandalorian. Here's the synopsis. After the stories of Jango and Boba Fett, another warrior emerges in the Star Wars universe. The Mandalorian is set after the fall of the Empire and before the emergence of the First Order. We follow the travails of a lone gunfighter in the outer reaches of the galaxy, far from the authority of the New Republic. Okay, now if you've been following rumors and speculation surrounding Favreau's show, you probably aren't all that surprised by this. The prevailing thought about the show was that it was about Mandalorians. Plus, Favreau himself revealed that this is when the show would be set. But anytime we get actual official confirmation from Star Wars, it's nice to finally put all rumors to bed. The show began filming in recent days, so it makes sense that Favreau would finally come out with this info. But now that we have it, a million more questions arise. Who is this lone Mandalorian gunfighter? Does this person know the Fett mentioned? What about Sabine Warren? Another prominent Mandalorian who has a pretty significant mission of her own. Is this exact time period, and of course, what exactly is this Mandalorian doing in galaxies far, far away? We don't have answers to any of those questions. We'll have much more on the Mandalorian, soon. I was really excited about this live action show, to be honest with you guys, because I was just thinking to myself, you know what? Disney, they have Star Wars. They really, they're trying to change things up, and like some stuff I do like, some stuff I just really don't like. And I'm not sure. I mean, I first thought it was gonna be like something that was gonna be like super like, because originally, before Lucasfilm was bought out, George Lucas had this idea of creating like an underworld type of show with Star Wars. So it was gonna be like The Wire, but with Star Wars. It was gonna have like crime, drama, and basically the behind the scenes of what happens with people in the lower regions of Coruscant, the planet where they have like the political senate in Star Wars universe. And I was just thinking that that might be a good outlook. It might be fine. And they were even gonna mention Rogue Jedi, which I thought was gonna be pretty funny. It's gonna be not funny, but like it'll be cool to see these characters, like not like prominent characters, but create like their own characters, kind of like how The Gifted did the same thing, and they did it so like The Gifted didn't really take too much from the X-Men universe. They just really they made their own thing. But with this show, Star Wars, Star Wars is not like the MCU. It's its own. It's like an opera. It's its own Shakespearean type story. It's not like something that you can. It's not like a comic book reel where you go from one end to the other, then the other story to the other. It's like a linear narrative. It's a sprawling narrative. It's a space narrative. It has layers upon layers and meaning upon meaning. It's a property that has so much pop cultural impact. But with this live action show, I was just like really anticipating something like the underworld like thing that George Lucas had planned. You know, something that was gonna really be its own thing, something that's gonna really branch off from what Star Wars is and just borrow some of it. Because I feel like it'll work out better. Probably talk about the Mandalorians in this TV show. We could probably talk about like the Old Republic, like a little like semi prequel TV series about the ancient Jedi and the ancient Sith. You know, I feel like that might be cool. I just feel like this series will, you know, really do well. You know, I mean, I saw the picture of the Mandalorian. It looked like a combination of Jango Fett's armor, you know, but a little bit of, you know, Boba Fett's, you know, style. I don't know. It felt like a combination of both Jango Fett and Boba Fett's look. You know, I had like mixed feelings about it, but you know, I'm just gonna wait until like the trailer comes in so I can at least put my, you know, personal opinion on it. But next we're gonna go to the Kanye West new album, and you know, just like a quick news update. I heard, you know, Kanye West, you know, from the news feed has met with President Trump, and you know, he had like this whole, he had his MAGA hat, you know, and he was talking about stuff with the president, and he was, I think he was just talking about, you know, just regular stuff that he's like, oh, Hollywood won't, you know, talk to me anymore. I feel like, you know, they're just like those friends, you know, that people might say, oh, we can never see those guys being friends, but you know, here they are. And that's all I can say about political stuff, because I really can't talk about it that much on this little podcast, but still. Rolling Stone, Kanye West says he's recording Yandhi in Africa, continues to talk politics. Well, I won't get into politics too much, ladies and gentlemen, but I'll talk about his album. Kanye West was supposed to drop his 9th studio album on Saturday, September 29th, 2 days, 3 SNL performances, 1 tweet from Kim Kardashian West, and an appearance on TMZ Live later, and Kanye West Yandhi is pushed back to Black Friday, November 23rd. West admitted to Harvey Lennon that he didn't finish the album in time, and a member of his management staff suggested pushing the release back. Quote, I started incorporating sounds that you never heard before and pushing and having concepts that people don't talk about, West said of the project. Quote, we have concepts talking about body shaming and women being looked down upon for how many people that they sleep with. It's just a full Ye album. First, we're going to go on the Lady Gaga versus Venom story. Here on BuzzFeed News, Lady Gaga stans are telling people not to watch Venom, and it has caused chaos. Not caused. The whole thing appears to have kicked off because Venom and Gaga's new movie, A Star Is Born, have the same release date this week. And the Rotten Tomatoes don't look that good. It's like 28% for Venom, you know, just to throw it right out there. And Star Is Born looks like it's like really well rated. It's just basically a whole bunch of tweets I'm seeing, you know, so far about it. And let me read one of them. Social embargo for #Venom is up. I talk about this a lot in my review, but this is a movie that somehow slipped through a wormhole from 2004. That's my biggest take. It's a movie that spilled from the pre-MCU era through a crack in time and space. Another tweet reads, #Venom wasn't as bad as everyone was saying it was going to be. Tom Hardy is and always will be a great actor, and I laughed a lot, but I'm not sure whether that was intentional or not. Post-credit scene is fire. I'll read one more, and it says, sorry to say that #Venom is pretty much a complete failure. A total mess that feels 15 years old, ignoring the storytelling strides that superhero genre has made in recent years. Few fun Venom-centric moments aside, it has nearly nothing to offer. Yeah, I mean, this is, I'll probably talk to you guys real quick about this. I heard that Lady Gaga fans, that they call little monsters still, you know, that's what she calls the little fans. Basically, Lady Gaga's fans, you know, really don't like Venom, you know, getting into, you know, the movie's release date, you know, and they're really, you know, trying to, Lady Gaga fans are basically trolling people into not seeing Venom, basically. Don't get me wrong, I heard about the reviews, and I mean, I'm not gonna really see it, you know, I might, just to, like, say I saw it, but, you know, I just really didn't like the film from day one. I think I mentioned Venom, like, numerous times in this show, like, maybe, like, months ago. I had my, you know, I think I was vocal about my concern and hesitation about this new film, because I just felt like, you know, I feel like, you know, Sony is really trying to push a Spider-Man-centric universe, even though Spider-Man's in the MCU. I don't know. I mean, you probably can't hear the anger in my voice, ladies and gentlemen, but I just really don't like, I mean, corporations like Sony, really try to, ruin the brand of such a beloved character. Venom, is more or less tied to Spider-Man directly, and I don't know how in the world they can just make him completely separate from Spider-Man, but apparently they did. But that doesn't seem to be the problem for the most part. I think it's just a problem of just character development and story development. And they really just try to make like a straightforward action film, and just have it to, I mean, I don't know, that's probably the problem with like this film and like The Mummy. And I feel like, that's what Marvel lent itself to do. That was its secret. It was just creating standalone stories that were true to the characters, while at the end of the story tying in different movies, like they were really, they really cared about the story, but these corporations, they look at Marvel and they completely go sideways on their tactics. I don't know what it is, I feel like, filmmaking buffs might not like superhero movies, but I personally like superhero movies, even though I'm a filmmaker, because, they're interesting, But anyway, I'm going to the Netflix side of things, to end off, this basically Lady Gaga fans do not like Venom. The rise of Netflix competitors has pushed consumers back toward piracy. A new study shows that after years of declines, BitTorrent usage and piracy is on the rise again. The culprit an increase in exclusivity deals that force subscribers to hunt and peck a myriad of streaming services to actually find the content they're looking for. Sandvine's new global internet phenomena report offers some interesting insight into user video habits and the internet, such as the fact that more than 50% of internet traffic is now encrypted. Video now accounts for 58% of global all traffic, and Netflix alone now comprises 15% of all internet downstream data consumed. But there's another interesting tidbit buried in the firm's report. After years of steady decline, BitTorrent usage is once again growing. And I feel like that's just the case because, Netflix is charging their subscribers too much. Yeah, I feel like they should do this deal. Have at least like 6 months or more. I feel like these corporations not listening to my show. Just make Netflix keeps throwing a lot of content into your face. They're creating new shows and whatnot. But that's not what the people want. They want their shows more successfully available to them. They want to be able to see the new releases when it comes out. They want to be able to see their old TV shows or whatnot on the service or on the internet. I think after like a month or so, they release certain TV shows and movies so they can't show them anymore. After like a while, then they put in new things. So basically people will have to like wait like a whole while till their new shows or their best favorite shows come on the internet, or they have to buy the DVD of it, from a Walmart or whatever, which is something I do. Netflix really just take into account for that. Anybody can create new content, but the difference between new content and generated content is that with generated content, at least you attract more people to say, oh, they have friends there. Oh wow, they have the whole Godzilla series there. That's cool. Business wise, you want to make sure that you appeal to your customers. The customer's always right. Piracy, which is not really something I condone. I don't condone this act, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really an internet centric person, but just don't do piracy. It's illegal. But anyway, Dark Phoenix is so influenced by Logan, it dropped the X-Men from its title too. Confused as to why Dark Phoenix isn't called X-Men Dark Phoenix like its predecessors in the franchise, blame Wolverine. Speaking to Collider on Facebook Live, Dark Phoenix writer-director Simon Kinberg explained that his movie is so influenced by James Mangold's Logan, he also decided to drop the X-Men moniker from his title. He hopes as a result audiences will have a better idea that the film is about one of the most iconic book stories of all time. I wanted to call it Dark Phoenix in, again, very much the way he wanted to call Logan as opposed to X-Men Logan, to indicate that it's a different kind of film and to indicate that it's a more character-driven movie, Kinberg says. I know I sound a little bit bitter, ladies and gentlemen. I am pretty happy talking about these stories, but I feel like, it's hitting notes that don't seem to feel too attached to me. I saw the trailer, it just looked like, X-Men at its best, I think after X-Men Apocalypse, I just kind of felt a little bit, less enthusiastic about their new series. I just felt more enthusiastic seeing Logan, but I really like Logan. I really like the way they were, ending off Wolverine's character. I really like that movie. It was one of my favorite films of all time in terms of superhero genres. But with Dark Phoenix, I have to wait and see, because that's technically like the last X-Men film before this Fox and Disney deal closes out, because after that film's released, then they're pretty much basically the same people who say they don't like this deal is the same people who are campaigning to make this deal happen. I feel like I'm all ready for this deal. At this point, I don't really care if Disney, oversaturates the X-Men with, sunshine and rainbows, you know. But Marvel is pretty. It's kind of its own thing, you know. They have their own style, opposed to just general Disney movies. Star Wars has its own thing, but they're very family oriented. You know what I mean? That's the one thing that Disney, you know, really heavily pushed for these films, which is, you know, make it family oriented so that people can of all ages can see it, which is fine. You know, I mean, as long as it doesn't hurt the story, then it's fine.